Are you thinking about picking up the Positive Grid Spark and using it with a bass? Well, if you're that guy, we've got this guy here today. Max is going to take us all the way down bass lane and back with a Spark today, right here on GearGasms. Hi everybody, welcome to GearGasms. I'm your host, and today it's a first for GearGasms. Actually have a guest. This young man's name is Max. He is under 18, so it's none of your damn business what his last name is, and in fact I find it creepy that you asked.
Yeah, that is a little creepy.
So, two things you need to know about Max. Number one, unless you're Les Claypool or Jaco Pastorius, he plays bass better than you, probably.
Maybe.
He's a friend of GearGasms Jr. They played in a show called Rock and Roll Revival. He is truly a bass player extraordinaire, and since I have almost zero bass skills, he has so kindly allowed himself to be put on camera for internet infamy to take us through our Spark bass journey.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Awesome, it's going to be awesome. We're going to check out all the bass models, which there's only 4. We're going to check out all the presets, which there's only 2, and we are going to fool around with some effects because they do have some really killer bass effects built in there too. And so without wasting a further second of your time, we'll get right to it. All right, the first thing we're going to have Max do with the Spark, we're just going to check out the amp models. Let's hear how it sounds.
Really beefy.
Beefy, you want less beef? Yeah, it is fat. Let me pull the bass down a little bit. Better?
Yeah, I'm thinking if I put it in the bridge pickup, it's gonna be like so beefy. Yeah, there we go.
Now, if you didn't pick up on that already, I think beefy means good.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
He was saying beefy, and I'm like, oh, let me fix that for you. I'm like, beefy's not good.
Sorry to the vegans out there.
Lit. So that was the first model, and obviously we can get a bunch of different things. I'm gonna goose the gain up a little bit and just see how stupid rock and roll this can get. Give me a little something. That's one thing I forgot about. This thing does have bass effects, so we'll make sure we come back to that. But you heard that, people. That was Instant Lemmy. God rest his soul. All right, this is a Sun. I do know enough about bass amps to know this is supposed to be a Sun.
That low E?
Too
low
much.
E sounds like a fart.
Yeah, well, they're tiny speakers, so I'm kind of expecting that. Let me bass all the way down. Hit that low E now. Now that's one of the rubs guitar players are complaining about this amp. One of the few complaints that I hear over and over again is it's very bassy. And I think from an EQ standpoint, they overcompensated for the little speakers. The same sort of way I overcompensate with a really, really nice car. So we are gonna give you a little something. All right, just start wailing, and I'll play with the knobs.
I like it.
Nice.
It's making my frets talk.
I like it. All right, so we have the Max seal of approval. Let's get another amp up here. It kind of has a Marshall look, but they didn't really make bass amps.
It looks like an Eden. The Eden
really?
bass amp, yeah.
Okay, he's probably right. Leave in the comments if you know what this is. I know there's a list of the amp models. You all have linked it to me 1,000 times. I ignored the bass amps on the list because,
Well, who cares about bass?
the same way I ignore the bass player in my band that I don't have. We've just come into the amp, and one good thing that Spark does is when you pull up an amp model, they've done a really good job of like having where the knobs come up initially to be right in a good sweet spot. So we'll prove that theory and let Max wail. I'm going to goose the gain. All right, let's see what we get with that. See how.
It's got like a muffy kind of crunch to it. So.
Any clue?
Aguilar tone hammer. They didn't make it. They didn't make it too discreet this time. It's kind of like a.
See?
Yeah.
I believe the children are our future, and if you teach them well and let them lead the way. All right, so again, we've pulled in here just with the straight up settings. Let's get it.
I think every amp does the same thing. Every model, it has that. It's probably just the speakers.
The fartiness.
Yeah, it's definitely just the speakers.
Let me pull the bass down and hit it again. So we are gonna get into presets, all kinds of categories, and if you look at like the guitar stuff, see that. Get over here to bass and wah, 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 wah.
Everybody loves the bass player, apparently.
Just two. All right, but let's see what they've done. Some of their other presets are fun. We're going to go right into bass driver. I kind of know what that's going to be already, just based on the name. As you can see, it has the bass comp. It's got almost everything turned on in the front. It's got this SAB driver, and then of course it's got Room Studio B reverb. So it has a lot of stuff going on. What would it sound like? Let's go ahead and play a little bit again, and I'm gonna. That was flanger. This, you'll probably dig this.
Ah.
Let's try this one. You know what that note sounded like? Come As You Are, the first bass note of Come As You Are. I think just because of the. Yeah. Well, enough of that. Copyright claim.
No Nirvana.
What a great ear I have. Even if my fingers ain't so hot. Alrighty, let's try phaser while we're in here. See, bass players can have fun with guitar player toys. There's no rules. Let's pick something that's meant for the bass, which I guess SAB driver is too. Let's try this Bass Master.
Yeah.
That's killer. That's like some, what do they call that? Would that be considered like stoner rock or something, or shoegaze?
Stoner rock.
Stoner rock. I get lost in all the terms. If it sounds good, it is good.
That's fair.
Which is the rule we're kind of applying here. I know people don't want to get shortchanged on these drives, so let me give them another. Because there's a couple. Yeah, there's a bass muff. Let's hear that.
Honestly, all of them that we've tried, they sound the same.
All right, so we played around, we farted around with the first. Let's get into the second preset. All right.
Highs are really crisp there.
It's called comped cleaner, as you can see on the screen. I turned the comp off, but I like the sound instantly better with the compressor off, and I saw your head move too.
Yeah.
So I think we're on the same page. But we'll try. It wants to have the compressor on. We'll listen to it with the compressor. Awesome.
Nice and clean.
So that's kind of where we went with. We played with some effects. We let you hear a few of them. We also went through just the 2 presets. The good news is there's a tone cloud out there, so you can there's like 10,000 tones. All right, the last thing that Max is going to treat us to today for the Spark is SmartJam. Now, if you know SmartJam, you got 8 bars to play a chord progression, and then it comes up with a bass and drum part based on the guitar chords that you play. But I'm just that kind of person. It's like, all right, what will it play if we play bass into it? Will it play the same thing that Max plays on the bass back to us? Will it lose its mind? Will it come up with something kind of weird that's close but no cigar? So we hit the create button.
Dave
is kind of Sharon's funkier. I'm just saying that the internet says that this Sharon, she's put in, she's got a lot more. So let's go with her since we're doing funk. All right, so we just picked 111 beats per minute. We'll start off and see what happens. All right.
Oh, here we go.
Let's see what we get. Fail.
The man inside there is like at his keyboard right
Yeah.
now. He's like, eh. Maybe we can do a side-by-side comparison. I'll play what I played and...
Oh, yeah. So do your thing again and we'll restart it.
Let's hear it. Okay.
That wasn't right. Oh my gosh. That is like, come on, guys. Now, we didn't expect it to play exactly what he played because this bit of software coding, it's an algorithm, it hears and it kind of puts stuff. And again, for guitar players, it's not bad if you just want to do 8 bars of something. It puts something very, very cheesy, like we just heard, very Casio sounding underneath it. But it's not half bad. It picked up, it says that the chords that you play were E, A5, that's kind of right, E major 7th, and a passing tone, maybe it picked that up from G7, which is a strange...
Yeah, G7 was my passing tone to go back to the tonic.
As a bar chord, and then...
I guess that would be right, but it was a passing tone. But
So it sort of picked up the chords correctly, and it sort of made them guitar chords on the screen, as you can see here, and then it invented a bass line that would go underneath those chords, which was nowhere even close to as good as what Max can play.
Well,
so don't be disappointed with this, because it's a practice tool. Well, that wraps up our Spark journey with the bass. Max really did a great job of finding all kinds of crazy tones in there. We stumbled on some accidents that were kind of fun. Max is generally not an effects guy when it comes to bass. He likes it clean. He likes it simple. Again, I'm not a bass player, so I'm really curious of your thoughts overall.
Well, I mean, for a practice amp, it's good. Like, when you look for a practice amp, you're looking for something that can amplify. You can hear it. So, like, you know what you're playing, and you can also mess around a bit with the effects. So, I say if I had to give it a rate on a scale of 1 to 10, it'd probably be like an 8. I'm like a 410 guy, so I play for my big cab. I like it nice and loud all the time.
Right.
But, like, if I had to go for a quieter amp, then I'd choose it.
Well, what did we learn today?
The SmartJam can't follow a bass line.
Isn't that ironic? Because it's supposed to listen to a guitar and give you a bass line, but as you saw, we fed it a bass line and it got kind of confused. But to be fair, that's really a toy for guitar players. That wasn't really meant for bass players, but I just had to find out how it would work. We also learned that the very bassiness that guitar players are complaining about with the Spark also exists, not surprisingly, on the bass stuff. But I think overall, the 4 bass models that they have, including, you know, the effects, really suit the bass. As always, I thank you for your time. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Tell all your friends about GearGasms. Tell anybody you know who may know Max that he was on GearGasms. Thanks to Max's parents for being very cool and letting him come guest on this very questionably titled YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. Whatever you do in the next 7 days, don't tell Karen about it, because she's just going to pull her mask down and yell at you for not wearing a mask.
God.
You can buy a t-shirt if you want, but if you don't want to, it's no big whoop. Play more guitar, watch less YouTube, and keep coming back here week after week for more
GearGasms. Oh yeah.